Alright guys, today a little bit of a different video. I obviously went with the free-to-play series where I went over a new account and showed a little bit of what to do at the beginning into the details of what we would work on first, but I've also started playing obviously a lot more on my old main account again, and I've actually showed quite a little bit of it already, especially when we're showcasing certain champions. So while I don't want to go into all the details, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm actually working on my main account right now, and what are the big pieces that I'm trying to put together in order to progress a little bit further. So just to give you guys a bit of an overview of where we currently are on the main account when we're talking about raid. So I guess first the best thing to do is to give you guys a little bit of an overview over my champions. I was lucky lately with my first mythical pull finally for Theodosia. She's also the only mythical that I currently have. I can still pull Empress and I can now pull Mikage. It's been a long time coming, but I have now both of them. And so I will pull them for one of the next clan versus clan events. We're going to try and win that with a personal reward, so this is going a lot of points for me. That's why I'm delaying it slightly, and then they will obviously help me also to progress in a couple of areas. So you have a bit of an idea of what my champions currently are that I'm playing with, and the one thing that you might already figure out very quickly here is that the one thing that I'm actually lacking, and that is because I took a break for a while, was I do not have a whole lot of really high level souls on my legendaries. I got a couple of epics that have 5 and 6 star souls, but when we're talking about my legendaries here, a lot of them have maybe a 3 star, I have a couple of 6 stars, some 5 stars, but it's not as much as I would like to, and it's also something that I definitely have to improve on in order to make things better. Theodosia is obviously a little bit of a focus of mine right now. I still need to glyph her up a little bit and also change a couple of the items that I have. But currently she's at 393 speed and 400 accuracy. Has a decent amount of health too. I want to get her to 400 speed, but I need a couple of decent glyphs for it. And honestly, I could use a better banner than that. She has still one of my best items when it comes to speed, and that's my shield in the Divine Speed set with a 4 times roll into speed. But even that could be glyphed a little bit harder than it is right now. So definitely some stuff that I have to work on. Outside of that, when it comes to champions, I've actually recently just pulled so many champions, it's kind of crazy. I need to also book a lot of them. Same thing applies here. I'm waiting for the next clan versus clan. Then I'm going to use the mythical books that I have in order to book her. And I'm probably going to prioritize Lady Mikage over Empress. But I have a lot of champions right now that need books. I pulled Thor recently and I need books on him. I also have him on decent equipment. It's nothing too insane that I'm currently running him with, but obviously I'm still trying to get him into a position where he can become one of my main damage dealers here. There's a few others that I'm still working with too. Generally speaking, for a lot of the PvE content, I'm still playing around Senna, who is in a 9/9 protection set, so this is going to be super helpful for pretty much everything with also a damage buff. I have Opardin as well, so when we're talking about a lot of the Hydra comps that I'm running or the Chimera comps that I'm running, those two help me to keep everybody alive and to also boost the speed and the damage so that I can get pretty decent rewards there. So pulling Senna couple 2-3 months ago was actually a big change for me, and thankfully I was able to get her in a 9/9 protection set. Same is also true for, as I mentioned, Opardin. And then when it comes to, let's say, for example, a lot of the PvP stuff that I still have to do, it's a little bit of a weird one. I put my Hilvi now in Mercurial. This is honestly an insanely broken set. Like 9/9 Mercurial is just insane. And I feel, I complained about Stone Skin in the past actually a lot because I think it introduces too much RNG into the game. And when you're playing Arena, it is mega annoying. Mercurial is the same thing on steroids, so I'm not really a big fan, but hey, as long as it's in there, I'm going to use it. So my Hilvi is actually doing really well. Her soul is pretty meh, but the set is decent, and I have her on decent speed with it too, so that actually helps. As you can see here, I also need to still get a couple of glyphs in. Lately, I've been getting so many new legendary gems that are actually useful that I'm using a lot of the resources that I have, and it really shows. I still need to do a lot with Edward here, who I also have currently in a 7 Mercurial set. I need to get that a little bit higher. Actually, it's a 6-part set right now. I still need all of the accessories to get him a bit higher here. I need more for Noldua that I'm currently working on as well. Then I got Menalisha that's in here, and also Preva. So there's a lot of really good champions that I want to either use for Faction Wars Hard or for certain PvE content and play around with it. And that is kind of the priority right now for a lot of these things. Now, for me, one of the things that I mean, I'm currently working on the Marius missions. A lot of this stuff is kind of done, but I still have one mission in particular that is a little bit of a thorn in my side, and that is here. The Live Arena mission, winning 40 of them. Gonna be honest with you, I hate Live Arena. I think it is an insane waste of time. I think that they have the timer still on 1 minute for every single pick, even in the later stages when you're reaching higher, is crazy. It just takes so much time, and I do not enjoy it at all. I have a fairly decent setup with my Hilvi and my Torment that I actually like. I have, I believe, a couple of champions that are doing pretty well. I mean, we can look, for example, at my recent battle log here. Well, it doesn't show too much, but given that I had a break, I'm doing pretty okay. I'm going to get the full rewards here on the general fairly soon. What a lot of my clanmates are actually doing, that during seasons they're just tanking their rating and then using it in the season to get better rewards. I honestly am at a point where I'm going to try and get those 40 wins for Arena to get the Marius mission, and then I'm most likely going to stop playing Live Arena. I just do not enjoy it. It is incredibly frustrating. It just takes way too much time. If they would speed it up a little bit, I would probably do it. The rewards are nice, but I'm nearly done with maxing out my Faction Wars rewards, which is the most important part for me personally, at least. I don't struggle with ice quality. With any of the dungeons, I don't struggle there at all. It's just for Faction Wars hard, you really need to get those high enough, and I assume I'm going to have them at 10. The only other thing outside of it that I think is going to be useful is Hydra battles, and then on top of that also Cursed City. Everything else I'm already maxed out anyways, so I don't need it. Hydra battles increasing the damage there would be kind of neat. And Cursed City is something that I also am currently still working on a little bit, which I can show you. I don't have a problem going through hard and defeating the boss regularly. My problem is still a couple of the stages when I go to the upper part here. So for example, as you can see here, I don't have a whole lot for stage S6, and I'm currently working on getting my Fang Cleric to 60, and I'm also having Virgil trying to get him to 62, just so I can break through these and start completing some of the upper stuff a little bit more reliably, just to get the extra rewards there as well. Outside of that, it's honestly mostly trying to improve my lineups for Chimera. I mean, I can give you a quick idea of I'm currently sitting with my damage. So I use these two lineups right now for Ultra Nightmare and for Nightmare, but they will change once that I have at least Lady Mikage. This is something that has been missing for a long time for me, so this is just something I threw together for the last Chimera rotation, because it will change now that I have Lady Mikage, get the ally attacks, and then can actually complete a lot more of the trials in the process. So this was just simply to get some damage in so that we can do well as a clan in the actual contest. But we are currently reliably taking down, or we can take down Nightmare, we're reliably taking down Brutal, and this is going to be a little bit of a look, okay, do we take Nightmare down every single time? Do I keep attacking Ultra Nightmare here? Do we go for the double rewards? This is just now all happened. We unlocked Ultra Nightmare, I think, just in the last rotation. So this was basically just to look, okay, what can I do with it? But you can see here, for example, with my personal results, I have not finished a single trial, didn't care. It was just really about trying to go to the last chest and see how this lineup would do, but also in the knowledge that in just a week or so I'm going to have Lady Mikage and the entire lineup is going to change anyways. So this is kind of where I'm on Chimera. With Hydra, it's kind of what you would expect. We're getting obviously a full completion on all of it here, so it's always a double chest and not a problem. Pretty decent rewards there as well, and we're doing traditionally also fairly okay in the clan versus clan. And I think that's roughly where we are right now when it comes to the account. Grim Forest is always full completion. When we're talking about Faction Wars hard, this is really where it's kind of the hardest. It's a little bit of a weird one, honestly, because on the one hand, this is content, you know, where you can always improve, and I'm a little bit of a completionist, so I'm always trying to go in. I'm looking a little bit at which stages can I do what, okay, what can I do here, need some stuns, which hero can I improve in order to make that happen. But while I am trying to do that, so far I've only fully completed the Dwarf Crypt, for example. My Dwarf lineup is pretty good. The problem with it is that I still have a lot to go through, and I will obviously focus on progressing here, but Polara sucks. So she's pretty bad. She's not good. She is not a reward that a lot of people are striving for. when you look at her ratings in general, she is not something that is on the wish list of everybody. So that means that while I am working on Faction Wars hard just to get the rewards and get all of those glyphs, at the same time it's not something where I'm saying like, okay, I gotta do this right now in order to get anywhere. And that brings us basically to the end of the account overview. I'll show you a few more things, but that's essentially it. Typical classic arena, I don't really care. That one's, I always stay in gold 5, drop in and out, try to win a couple of tournaments. Those are usually the easiest ones to win when there is an arena tournament. That's where I get most of my relentless gear actually. I've never really tried to push into platinum. And then in, well, tag team arena, I'm currently in silver. I'm going to make my way over to gold. But also not something that I focus too much on. I really like that they introduced the quick battles here. Because, as I said, one of the things that annoys me with Live Arena is simply that it is just too annoying with the time that you have to invest. And in Tag Team Arena, they now made it so that you can actually complete this a lot faster with the quick battles. And that makes things much, much easier for me personally. So I like that a lot more. So now I'm playing a little bit more of Tag Team Arena as well. Another point where I have to improve is definitely relics. So I need more of them. I have currently quite a lot of wands of submissions, for example, that are being thrown out here. But let's take a look, for example, over here on my Krisha. She's currently the one that rides the only Purged Shadow relic that I have. And I get a lot of value out of my Krisha. She's absolutely awesome. She's helped me with a lot of the boss content in the game. But I would like to get a Purged Shadow also for Mavara. And she's really going to be useful for Hydra. So I'm currently in the process of building her. I got a couple of others here, as you can see, that I'm currently also building. Most of them for Faction Wars hard. But Mavara doesn't have one, and I kind of want her on Purged Shadows as well. Just simply because what you're trying to do a lot is get that fervor stacked up everywhere. You want to have a buff extender then as well. That's where Lady Mikage, for example, build is going to come in for me. So my Hydra lineups are going to very heavily change once that I have her fully booked as well. But as with my mythical books, I'm currently waiting for Clan vs Clan or some other event so that I can actually get proper use out of it. I don't like to just throw my resources out there. And yeah, on top of that, it's essentially just trying to get some souls. I have currently 200 mortal souls, I have 24 immortals. I still have a couple of resources here to get more with my immortal soul coins, but the main reason why I don't do this is because on the Marius missions, there are still a couple where I have to spend coins for the missions themselves. So I'm currently holding a lot of this back, and I will not pull outside of ×2 events. Currently, for example, there is a Soul Chase tournament, and to be absolutely honest with you, some of the rewards that I have here would be kind of useful. I would love to get those legendary books. I would also love to get the crystals, but at the same time, I'm not willing to invest if there is not some increased chance of pulling higher level souls, because again, this is the area where I'm currently struggling the most, or where I could improve the easiest. So I want to make sure that if I start pulling anything, that it's going to be in a scenario where I'm going to get a lot of value out of it. I'm working on the Titan event right now also to get the souls for Empress. As I already said, Lady Mikage is going to be up next in the next event, and then for Fragment Summoned I have Empress. I'm also going to get Anaxia once that the next Grim Forest rotation comes in, and we'll start building her a little bit. So far I think feedback on her is a little bit torn, but with Empress you already have a really good one, and I'm currently on track to get the 5-star soul for him too. So that's going to be a bit of an improvement for me. So recently on the account, I mean, honestly, for me, it's just crazy how many champions I get that are useful in the game and that can help me. For a long time, I had no mythical. Now I have 1 and 2 to 3 that I will get within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that's something that's going to be pretty big, and it's going to help a lot. But there is a lot that I still have to do here. And a lot of the champions that you see, they also have items where I could still improve them a lot. A lot of these guys I actually don't use all that regularly. A lot of them I could combine with others. I mean, I could go, for example, with Yukimasa and give him a completely different lineup and get a bit more use out of him, and in a couple of niche scenarios. I have him also on some decent-ish items, but it's nothing too insane with 260 crit damage that we have here, and the crit rate is a little bit low at this point too. So there's a lot of improvement to be made. With all of the rotations that we're getting, there's obviously more and more Mercurial stats that we're getting in, especially the accessories. I'm getting more items there as well. Wallmaster Thorian is another one that is quite neat, and I have him in Relentless right now. So there's a lot of stuff going on where I've made pulls where I kind of still need to improve them. Kandrafon is really useful for my Demon Spawn faction squad and has made improvements there, so I have him in a pretty old school Savage set, which is so far working quite nicely. But he's also not booked, so that's another thing that I would have to play around with a little bit. So there's a lot of work to be done, is essentially what I'm trying to say. A lot of cool champions that I got lately, a lot of work to be done. I mean, even my Predator, who is currently also in a 9/9 Mercurial set and has pretty decent stats, is not fully booked yet. Because I ran out of books in the last rotation when I started to use them. I think I have right now 17, so I'm going to use that to fully book him too, because he's one of the main tools that I'm currently using. Should also change the blessing here. But he's pretty decent right now. There's still a couple of items that I could improve, but in order to get him into a 9/9 Mercurial set, I had to make at least a few changes. So his speed at 250, not that insane. Has pretty decent hit points, which is nice. And I also have him at 100% crit rate with 280% of crit damage. So that works quite nicely. But this is obviously something that I can improve on as well. And as you might have noticed also on my items, some of them are not fully ascended yet. And this is basically the same idea behind it. I have too many missions right now where I still need to ascend either items or accessories, so a lot of them are being held back, and I'm going to do that when I'm done with Mario's. Which is going to give me another champion, by the way, that I then have to build and book. So, lots of stuff to be done, lots of options to tackle the content that is in the game, and it's not getting boring right now. Currently, there's really a lot of cool stuff going on. Personally, I also enjoy Grim Forest, so that's always kind of nice. I feel like after now running through a few rotations of it, it has not lost its appeal, but it's fairly straightforward how to beat all of it once that you know what to do. So, but that's content that I'm just like going through as well. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Besides that, I'm still trying to hold back a couple of the shards just so that I have more things to pull for later. The idea being that if there is a new IP corporation coming from Plarium, that I actually have some things that I can pull there as well. Noteworthy is probably also that for Primal Shards, I have not pulled a mythical yet from Primals. And I have not kept track, but I should actually be pretty decent when it comes to the Mercy system for Primals. So I should be really at a point where it's not going to take too much longer for me to also have a very high chance to pull a mythical out of Primals. So that would then give me another one, hopefully something that is useful. But again, not really in a rush here to use any of this either, obviously, because as I already said before, right now I have enough stuff to work on as is. So this gives you a little bit of an overview over what my main account currently looks like. I know that a few people were curious about it. And yeah, so that's essentially it. So guys, thank you for watching the video. Keep in mind, if you actually want to start with Raid or if you want to start a second account, we still have the link to the starter account live. This thing is still valid and working. Some people have been asking because traditionally they expired, but Plarium is actually keeping that one in play. So if you want to skip the early game and really start with a bit of a cheat code with some of the best epics and legendaries that you can get in order to start a new account, absolute S-tier champions for early game content, then make sure that you check out the description of the video. And I've also added a few of the starter codes that you can use as a newer player in there. Personally, I would really recommend to go for Padraig. I think he is one of the best options, and he was added recently as a starter code. There are other options, obviously, if you prefer to go down a different path, but I personally think that he would be a fantastic asset, especially with the champions that you get through the link. So if you want to start a new account, check out the link in the description, and it also lists the champions that you're going to get. And if you have any questions around it, you can check it out there. There's also a video that goes a bit over items, and I cannot stress this enough. Every single time that somebody tells me they're struggling, they're in the early game, they're in the mid games, and I check out their accounts, step number one is always they're getting the items wrong. So if there is any chance that you are still getting your items wrong, check the video out. I promise you it's going to leapfrog your account very, very quickly towards a completely different level of play. Thanks for watching today. See you guys in the next one.